Hey y'all, I've started a new YouTube channel where I cook foods from video games, bringing the console to the kitchen. There's a link in the description, and if you like what you see, I'd be real appreciative if you subscribed. Let's get baked at Dakon's Bakehouse. Today we are going to do a kind of compilation of all of the various ways that I know to power level all of the skills. So there are a couple skills that you can't power level, but most of them you can. So let's go ahead and take a look at the various methods. Here's a brief set of timestamps and what skills each one of these strategies helps to improve. We're going to start with the oldest known method, the tried and true Hive Mother Strat, and this is used for raising any of your combat skills as well as your vitality. It's useful if you place down a whole bunch of conveyor belts first, like I've done here, but that is not required. What you do want to do is you want to make sure that you have a little area where you have dug out yourself an island, and then make sure that you break your little access, and now you have an area where no one can get to you. You're going to want a repair bench. You're going to want a chest that at least has a bunch of scrap in it, depending on what you're raising, whether it's your melee, your ranged, your summoning, your magic, or your explosives. You may need one of these others as well, provided that you want to actually reinforce the item that you're using. Technically, you don't need a sword, as you can raise melee unarmed. So we're actually just going to get rid of that. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to start shooting the Hive Mother with a ranged weapon so that you get the damage going. Once you've got the Hive Mother enraged so that she's activating 2 cocoons at once, then at that point you're going to want to make sure you don't have any gear equipped so that you aren't like buffing up your damage to any extent, and get the weakest weapon that you can. So in this case, I've got a slingshot. The Tome of the Dark works for summoning. The simple staff works for magic, and the hand mortar will work for explosives. If you want to do melee, you're going to want to switch to unarmed. And with melee, you just start hitting them when they're real close over here on the little edge. And that's why we have the conveyor belts kind of pushing as many as possible over to this edge. For all of the others, you just summon your pets, have them attack, or cast your spell, shoot your mortar. Now, the one thing I want to caution you on is that the hand mortar is probably not the best, or at least explosives probably aren't the best to do here. You can do explosives on the Hive Mother. It will work, but there are better ways to train your explosive skill. But this method, while it is not necessarily the fastest, it is going to get all of your skills, whether it's ranged, melee, magic, it does not matter. This will get your skill all the way up to 100. As well, this will also train your vitality because you're killing minions, and you get vitality by killing creatures. So you can raise a combat skill or 2 or 4. You can also raise your vitality to 100 using this method. Having the repair bench here will help you when your weapons and your tools break. You can just repair them and keep going. Next, we have got the Mushroom Brute method, and this method works pretty much the same as the Hive Mother. It's just you're shooting a Mushroom Brute instead. So if you can capture one Mushroom Brute, you can sit here shooting it and raise your combat skill, raise your mage skill, whatever you want. The difference is that this one Mushroom Brute isn't going to die because it's shielded, and so therefore you're not going to be raising your vitality. So you can do any of the combat skills: melee, ranged, summoning, explosives. Now, I do want to warn you, if you do explosives, you are going to do damage, and you may actually kill your brute because they do take more damage from explosives, burning, that sort of thing. So be very, very careful with the brutes. They could die. Again, there's a better way to handle explosives that's much safer. Now, if you have the resources or the ability to get a whole bunch of Shroomin brutes captured, you can then do something with summoning, where you equip a whole bunch of summoning items and just start summoning several of these creatures at once. And yeah, it takes a while because you don't have a lot of mana, but you'll be raising your summoning pretty quickly. As you can see, a whole bunch of these guys are getting hit at once. But again, you're not going to be raising your vitality. This will just raise your summoning. There's a better way if you have the resources or you're a little later in the game to get your summoning even higher. Right here, we have got a bunch of materializers, and in the materializers, I have put blue slime figurines, so that when I power it up, I'm able to do the same thing that I did with the Shroom and Brutes. Only this time I'm doing it with a whole bunch of blue slimes that just respawn the moment that they die. So in this case, I am raising my summoning skill, but I am also raising my vitality skill at the same time because I am actually killing enemies. So if you still need to raise your vitality and you want to do it real quickly and you've got the resources, whether you need to raise your summoning or not, go ahead and use this method here with the materializers and blue slimes. It will get you a bunch of experience very, very fast. All right, now this is the best way that I am aware of to train your explosive skill quickly. What you're going to want is you're going to need the King Slime Crown and the Royal Gel. This makes you the King of Slimes, and it makes it so that slimes will not attack you. Now, it also means you can't do normal damage to slimes, but you can still do explosive damage. So, we need the Burnzooka for this. This will not work with anything else. Doesn't work with the Hand Mortar. Doesn't work with the Grubzooka. Does not work with the Bomb Scarab Mortar. Must be the Burnzooka only. And you just shoot and make sure that your Burnzooka explodes on top of the slime boss. You can do this with Glurch, you can do this with Igneous, it doesn't matter which slime boss you use, because as you can see, he's just healing up immediately after. So he's not really taking much damage, and my explosive skill is going up pretty normally. So even though it's a slow attack speed, all you have to do is hold down the button or put a heavy object on spacebar and set that for attack, and walk away. And you will get 100 explosives, no problem. So let's talk about the crafting skill next. You can get from 0 to 100 crafting real easy. What you're going to need is a wood farm of some kind. Now, this is mine. It's a little fancy. You don't need a wood farm nearly this complex, but check out my wood farm videos. I've got a couple of them. They can show you various different wood farms that you can make, even one at the very beginning of the game. Once your wood farm has collected about 15,000 wood, or if you're impatient and don't want to get 15,000 wood, you can also make stone bridges. So if you have a combination of wood and stone that gets you up to 15,000, then you're going to be making wooden and stone bridges. That's all you have to do. Hold down Control to do 10 at a time, and just start crafting your wood and or your stone bridges. And you are going to go up in crafting skill so fast. Yeah, it does slow down, but you will be able to get up to 100 crafting with just 15,000 total wood and or stone blocks. I recommend wood because you can do it passively, but stone is also good because you're going to get a lot of it while you're exploring in the early game. So doing that and just crafting bridges is all you need to do in order to max out your crafting skill. Super fast, it's super easy to do. Takes less than 2 minutes once you have the materials. Next, we're going to train our running. What you want to start with is placing a bed down and then some conveyor belts at the lower part of it, and you're basically creating a single tile track that takes you as far as you want. It does not matter how far. The longer the better, to be honest with you, but ultimately you want to end it with a poison spike trap, so that what you're going to do is you're going to be dying over and over again. As you can see, I die here and then I am resurrected at my bed. And if you place like spacebar, turn spacebar into move right and just place a heavy object on it, then your character will walk, get killed by the spike trap, and then they will come back to life at the bed, and they will immediately start walking again just to get killed by the spike trap, come back, rinse, repeat, And your character will just keep on doing this, steadily raising their running skill until eventually you've got it maxed out. Now, you don't need to put in the conveyor belts. They just help get you to the end a little bit quicker as you gain your skill by the amount of tiles that you move through. So ultimately, whether you have the conveyors here or not, it doesn't really matter. It just pushes you through a little bit quicker. And if you don't have a poison spike trap, you can use a hive spike trap as well. But it needs to be a spike trap that you actually take damage with. The spike traps that you craft, like the wooden one or the normal tin spike trap or even the galaxite one, those don't do damage to the player. So you need to make sure that you're using a spike trap that actually damages the player. And this will get you up to 100 in no time and doesn't require any effort, can be done completely AFK. All right, so for this next one, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get as many grass blocks as you can. I like to say around 1,000 to 2,000 grass blocks. It really doesn't matter the exact amount, but I like to use grass blocks for this. Now, you don't have to use grass blocks, but it's what I used, and it will get you to 100, and it is the earliest, easiest to get block that you can get in bulk. So once you reach Azios's Wilderness, collect a couple thousand of these, and then you can just push your mining all the way up to 100. What you're going to need is around 150 mining damage while you are unarmed. So this is without any kind of pickaxe. It doesn't matter what you have equipped. In this case, I have an orb lantern, a Morpha's bubble bag, and a Cosmos visor helm. And that got me above 150. But whatever gear you have that gets you to 150 or so mining damage, put that on, and then set a heavy object for spacebar and something next to spacebar. So you're going to want to rebind those keys so that your left click and your right click are essentially having a single heavy object on it. So at that point, what will happen is your character will place down a grass block. They will hit the grass block until the grass block breaks. And then they will place another grass block, and then they will just keep on hitting it until that breaks. And then they will just place another one, and it will keep on going like this. Now, the reason I say to have over a couple of thousand is that sometimes when you place and take it back fast enough, you don't get the tile back. So in this case, what you're seeing on the screen is I am getting the tile back, but that won't always happen. And so you will slowly go down in the amount of grass blocks that you have, but you will continue to steadily go up in your mining, and this will get you all the way up to 100, even though it will take a while, but it can be done completely AFK without you having to worry about anything. All right, for this next trick, this is going to require that you place down a bunch of lava rock. So I recommend you make this track, and you make the track pretty much as long as you want, but I recommend that the track be at least 20 tiles, if not longer. And you're going to need Stormbringer. So this is definitely something that you do in the end game. What you're going to do is you're going to get inside a minecart, you're going to have Stormbringer, and you're going to want to make sure your mining damage is around 1250. I did that by using Stormbringer, a larva chest, and Morpha's bubble bag. You have Stormbringer on a heavy object, like let's say spacebar, so that your character is never changing their direction. You're always facing down. And when you're doing this, you're going to be sitting here just hitting a couple of walls, doing damage to each one of the walls and gaining points in your mining skill. But it's not going to be enough to actually break any of these walls, and they're going to heal by the time you get back to them. So as long as your character doesn't move and accidentally break one of the rails themselves, then you can sit here completely AFK with, again, a heavy object on spacebar and having that set to attack. And you will go from whatever you're currently at in mining all the way up to 100. It'll just take a couple of hours, but who cares when you're AFK, right? All right, we are now down to 3 skills: gardening, fishing, and cooking. And this is where things start to break down a bit. Let's start first with fishing. When it comes to fishing, there is no easy way in game currently to just AFK max out the skill. So instead, what you got to do is go into the mods section of the game, and you are looking for the auto fish mod. Specifically this one that has like the little characters underneath it. This one still works. Now, it hasn't been updated recently on its version info, so when you load it, you will get an error that says that this mod is not compatible with the latest version, but it does work. I have it loaded up right now, and we're going to take a look, and I'll show you exactly how it works. So once you have loaded up the mod and you get in game, just go to a watering hole, cast your line once, and that's all you have to do. The game and the mod will handle the rest. So you just sit here waiting, and the mod will automatically cast the line. Just make sure you're facing the right direction, unlike I was at that exact moment, and you will continue to cast properly and keep on getting fish all the way up until the point that you stop telling the mod to autofish for you. This currently is the only way to AFK fast level up your fishing. Otherwise, you're just doing this manually yourself without a mod, and it takes about the same amount of time. It takes around 1,500 catches of fish or items or whatever in order to get up to the maximum amount of fishing. Now, if you want to improve your speed for this, then you're going to want to equip some bait that will increase, again, your catch speed. And you're going to want to equip any kind of ring or fishing gear that increases the speed in which anything will bite. Also, the higher up that you get in your fishing, the faster fish will bite in lower level waters, but you get the same experience points whether you're fishing in high level water or low level water. So just grab any fishing rod that you can and just start fishing in regular water, and you will steadily get faster and faster as your fishing skill levels up. Now at this point, we have reached our last two skills, gardening and cooking. And unfortunately, I have to say these two skills do not have, at the time of recording, any real way to AFK farm and raise them. Well, at least not the gardening one, and you need a lot of food in order to make the cooking one go really well. So let's start with gardening because they kind of go hand in hand. What I recommend that you do is I recommend that you build long, straight garden areas. Now, probably longer than the ones that I have going here, but you put a sprinkler in the middle so that you have all of your crops growing, and you can very, very easily with the octarine garden trowel just sit here planting large amounts of crops at once, and then you wait for them all to finish growing, and then just harvest them all manually with a scarlet hoe. And the scarlet hoe will let you harvest at the same speed that you're planting at, and that will help improve your overall speed. But truthfully, there's really nothing when it comes to gardening that increases the speed of this other than a bigger farm. So you really want to just get as many seeds as you can get your hands on, and it doesn't matter which crop, grow every crop, whether you need it or not. You're trying to get your gardening skill up. So just place all the crops that you've got down and grow as much as you can and harvest as much as you can, because you gain your skill from harvesting. And then once you've grown all of those crops, just start cooking them all. Doesn't matter if you're going to actually use that food or not. Just start combining all of your crops and just start cooking the hell out of them. Place a whole bunch of cooking pots down and cook as much as you can. And the more you've got going at once, the faster your cooking skill is going to go up. And it doesn't matter if you're going to use these, because you can always sell the cooked food for ancient coins. You're going to need ancient coins anyway, so you might as well just sell all of this food that you're not going to use and make a bunch of extra money off of it also. So I hope that this helps you guys out, that we basically can get all but 2 of our skills real fast and easily power leveled. And for the other 2 skills, it's really just a matter of doing things in bulk and doing as much as you can as fast as you can. So if you have any questions, or if I've missed any methods that you've used to power level your skills, please leave a comment below and let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay crazy, everyone.